to Class A high school football on ARC TV 15. The game of the week this week faces the Lewiston High School Blue Devils with a 2-0 record against the Massabesic Mustangs coming into tonight's game with a 1-1 record. Our first chance to catch the Devils on our game of the week here on ARC TV 15 as Massabesic is being introduced below us, and now the Blue Devils will be introduced. This is Dave Bugel, Norm Gay joining me here. We have a little late start to tonight's game, but we're looking forward to an exciting game. We're looking forward to see if that Devil offense is still there for the Blue Devils, as Rich Asson will start at quarterback, and we'll see if his big running back, Val Beaudet, can still produce like he did last year. He's the leading scorer in Class A as far as yards go, and we expect to see him get a lot of leather tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, the Blue Devils coming off a very successful season, a state Class A championship, and they've lost 7 players from last year's teams. But if you look at their backfield, except for the quarterback position, they're coming back with some horses. As you mentioned, Val Beaudet, and along with Beaudet, you got Kobe Aslan, Bob Finch, and Vance Patton. Last year, all those players really played a big part in the championship season for the Blue Devils. They lost Brian Seguin. How do you replace an athlete of that caliber? Well, apparently filling in Brian's shoes this year is the quarterback Rich Aslan, and so far he's had a good season. So far Lewiston's had an excellent season. They've really played well. And Massabesic, their opponent here tonight, they started off the season, their second year in Class A, and they upset highly touted Portland, and they played Biddeford hard last week. So we have a good game in store tonight. We'll have a chance to see Lewiston for the first time, see exactly how strong they are.
We'll get a chance to see that, but first of all, we'll get our national anthem underway from the LAPD. A beautiful night for football. Well, as we get our national anthem away, I'd like to apologize. A little problem picking up some of the audio on that as the Lewiston High School band far to our right. As I said earlier, a beautiful night for football, not like last week's game of the week here on ARC TV 15, where we had fog overtake the excellent game that appeared to unfold before us. Unfortunately, the game didn't turn out, or the game turned out like the weather did, as the Red Eddies went down to defeat 42-13 for the hands of Thornton Academy. And this week, as we get the game started, we're hoping that we have an exciting game for you as we get a chance to see the Blue Devils for the first time on our game of the week.
And so far this season, they're 2-0, and they have shown awesome offense, and they have been very stingy on defense. But Massabesic, their second year in Class A competition, they come into tonight's game with a 1-1 record. Massabesic will be receiving. Lewiston will be kicking off. Look to see Massabesic in a multiple eye offense when they return to kickoff and finally start from scrimmage.
Kevin Plord will be doing the kicking for the Devils as he'll tee it up at his own 35-yard line. Deep on the right will be Scott Pomelo for the Mustangs. And I think it's fair to, like we said, to keep in mind that these Mustangs come in only 2 years into Class A, but they've got a good club coming in tonight. Mike Brown at quarterback, and we'll keep an eye on J.D. Boya and Lee Goodrich, their all-star running back. So they shouldn't be looked at any point away from this game as we get things started. Lord's kick will go way off to the left side. It appears it'll go out of bounds at about the 9-yard line. So we'll bring it back and add 5 or subtract 5, and he'll kick it again.
Lewiston, just as big as last year, if not bigger. Some of the boys the Lettermen from last year looked like they had some weight training over the course of the winter and in the summer, because they look like they're even bigger than they were last year.
They got some big boys on that line, as we'll get to them as they'll come out on defense first, but we'll get to that offensive line and take a look at some of the defensive players in for the Devils. We see Lee Goodrich, their starting running back, is also deep back now with Scott Pomelo. Kevin Floyd again, this time from the 35. Floyd's a little squibby kick, goes in deep. It's going to be taken by Goodrich. Goodrich around the right, across the 30, across the 40. Goodrich, down to the 35 and hauled down at the 37-yard line. So he gets about 13 to 14 on the return, and the Mustangs will take 1st and 10 from about the 37-yard line.
Blue Devils covered that kickoff very well. They really didn't give him any room to go outside, and he had to take it in the middle. Good run back, 13 yards, but now they go 1st and 10 from their 38.
Ron will bring the Mustangs up. He has Cox split wide to the left. He sends man in motion to the left, and he fakes a handoff right up the middle. He gets it at the line of scrimmage, met right there by one of the Devil interior linemen, and he's hauled down for no gain.
Devils not fooled that time. They went right up the middle. They went right at the Devils' strength, and they just shut down that hole, and they held them to no gain on the play.
2nd down and 11 again, as Scott Stanley will come off left for Braun. Braun from the I formation. Pitches the handout. Coming around the left side is Boya. Boya is going to be stacked up nicely as he approaches the 40. That'll be Goodrich on a carry from the fullback position. They'll give him 2. It'll be 3rd down and 7. And that time the defense for the Devils sniffed that one out nicely.
A lot of speed on that Devils defensive line, and they were able to just close out the outside. And well, I'll tell you, when they pop them, you can hear it right up here in the press box.
Coach Capone got his Devils pumped up for this game. Again, Braun will bring the Mustangs up, 2 men off to his right. From the eye, he fakes a handoff, rolls to his right, looking downfield, fires it over, got a man wide open at about the Devil, at about midfield, and he'll bring it down nicely. As number 25 for the Mustangs will be Scott Pomelo. He'll get the 1st down right at midfield. 1st and 10 Mustangs, as Braun's first completion goes for about 7 yards. He gets a 1st and 10. Just underway here, 10-16 remaining in the 1st period. Mike Braun has a man left. He sends a motion man to the right. From the eye, he fakes it, gives it to Goodrich. Goodrich off the right side. Stumbles for about 4 yards. We'll give him 3. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 7.
For Massabesic, what they've got to do is they've got to establish the ground game. And once they get that going, it's going to enable them to put the ball in the air, try to confuse the Lewiston defense.
Again from the eye, Braun sends a man in motion to the left. He fakes left, brings it over to the right, and gives it right up the middle again to Lee Goodrich. Goodrich gets another 4. It'll bring up a 3rd down and a long 3. And automatically you can see that Goodrich is getting the major brunt of the ball carrying already for the Mustangs.
It appears that their game plan right now is to run the ball. They have 1 completion, but that was a passing situation, but they've kept it on the ground.
Pitch out to Goodrich around the right side. This time he breaks free, gets free in the open, and rambles with 2 Devil defenders on his back for about 13 yards. It'll be 1st down and 10 from the 29-yard line.
Good drive being put on by the Mustangs. And you're right, Lee Goodrich getting the bulk of the calls, and he has been producing for him. They have the ball at the Blue Devil 28.
Braun brings his Mustangs up a nice drive. He's got a man split off to the left. He sends Pomelo in motion to the right. Again from the eye. Fakes the handoff. Gives it to the first man through the hole this time. As that time he had Goodrich in motion. But first man through the hole will be Stevenson, and he'll get one.
You can already see the Blue Devils keying in on Goodrich, and that time he used him as a fake and drew a couple of the defensive players with him.
Stanley comes to the left. Again, Pomelo in motion to the right. Braun fakes a handoff. No, he gives it up nicely to Goodrich. Goodrich breaks free on the right side, gets close to first down yardage before he's hauled out of bounds as they're working the right side of that offensive line.
That time he got hit initially at the line of scrimmage, broke free, and just headed for the sideline, and he's going to be just shy of a first down.
It'll be 3rd down and 1 as a nice drive, an opening drive for the Mustangs is consumed over 4 minutes as we're just beyond the 8-minute mark.
This is what Massabesic needed. They needed to establish their ground game right from the start.
Stanley comes again left. Pomelo in motion to the right from the eye. Braun looks quickly to Stanley's direction, fires it over complete, and he's drilled down at about the 7. Scott Stanley that time. As they show the same form and they give it, it'll be first down and goal inside the 10 for the Massabesic Mustangs. As we see down below, the Devil defensive coach saying, we got to talk, as his defense has been a little bit bedraggled at this point.
Okay, we're going to remind you that this is high school football here on ARC TV 15, and we will be back right after this very important message.
At Sam's, we're special. Taste how good it can be. At Sam's, you're special. You'll love our commitment to quality. Made to order, fresh to you.
Since 39, we're great at what we do.
Sam's, Italian sandwich shops. Taste the way good food should. At Sam's, you never had it so good.
At Parody Insurance, we take the budget care of Parody when you need us. You know that we'll be there. Security protection, running to just do. At Parody Insurance, the family works for you.
Protect yourself against expensive medical bills due to sickness or accident with a policy for Parody Insurance.
Busy, 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 looking out for you. Parody Insurance, the family works for you.
We're back as Mike Braun brings the Mustangs up to the line. He shows a different formation, a slot left, and now he breaks it off into a full house. He fakes a handoff, gives it to Goodrich on the right side behind 2 blockers, and he'll fall for about 1. As that time they show a different offensive backfield, and they give Lee Goodrich some blockers, but he only gets about 1. It'll bring a 2nd down and goal from about the 6, and they go with a hurry-up offense. As Braun again shows the same formation, full in behind him. First man through the hole gets the ball, and right there are the Devils. And I think he'll may even lose a little bit of yardage.
Well, Lewiston took a timeout to realign their defense, and looking at the first 2 plays that the Mustangs have run since that timeout, it's netted them exactly no yards at all. Now they call their own timeout, and I think they want to realign their offense to counter Lewiston's move.
Yeah, they wanted to do it, and they got a chance. So while Massabesic has taken a break, we'll have to see if maybe the Devils are going to send in their defense signals as the coach goes in again, as he already gave some good signals to stumble across on those last 2 plays. He stymied nicely, but now he'll have a chance to talk to him again, and it's a benefit when you're in a 3rd down and goal from about your own 7.
Well, it's very important that Massabesic get some points on the board right now, because here they come in. They're playing the Blue Devils, the defending Class A champions, who have rolled over 2 opponents in their first 2 games of the season, and they're coming in here. If they could get points on the initial drive in the game, that would really give them a confidence booster. If they're stopped, Lewiston could turn it around and get some points on, and that could really deflate Massabesic.
That's exactly the coach's strategy. Is Braun will bring him up from the eye. He sends Pomelo in motion to the right. He does have Stanley to the left. He fakes a handoff, looking at Stanley's direction, getting pressure. He fires it out. Man out of the backfield, drops the ball. As Goodrich that time, the intended receiver, drops the ball, and you can see Mike Braun out there is just hitting himself in the head.
Well, that's should have been caught pass. He hit him perfectly, and Goodrich just I probably anticipated running with the ball and forgot that he had to hold on to it.
They're going to try a field goal attempt. The kick will be made from about the 14-yard line or maybe 15-yard line. Kick is away. It's a good kick. It's right up the middle. Nice kick put out there by Steve Davies, as that ball had plenty of length on it as he kicked it up into the bank.
A 25-yard field goal, and as you said, he had enough leg on that. He could have kicked that from the 40-yard line.
Effortless kick as he just set it down, teed it up, boom, it went away nicely. As I think, obviously, he'll be doing the kicking as he tees it up on the 40, and they found something in a kicker in him.
Well, I'll tell you, a very important drive for Massabesic. They got points on the board. I'm sure they would have rather seen a touchdown, but they'll settle for 3. Here we have 7:17 remaining in the first quarter, and they lead Lewiston by a score of 3-0.
They lead as they get Steve Davies set to kick. Dropping deep will be Finch, Patton, and Bodette, as they look to defend the kick. Davies on that field goal again. We comment had some good leg into it. This kick is not that good. It's going to roll down. Bodette's going to come in front. No, it's going to be taken away from him at about the 20, across the 30, across the 35, into the 40. He's breaking free on the right side across midfield. Excellent running that time, as Kobe Aslan will break the Devils into good field position. He took it about his 15, and he'll be knocked out of bounds at the Massabesic 44-yard line.
Well, that time he only had one man left to beat, just couldn't get by him. But Lewiston fine field position, their first possession of the ball game, and we'll see what they've got on offense.
1st and 10 for the Devils. Booker goes to the left, as from the wishbone, Aslan will bring him up. He's going to pass quickly off. He fires it over to a quick, nice down and out. Intended receiver is Kevin Floyd, and he'll bring it down close to first down yardage, but it'll be about 1.5 yards short. So the Devils getting a little quick confidence devil.
Well, hard play to defend against, because the snap and a quick pass down and out, and you can pick up 8 good yards on that. The coaches keep smiling every time you do that.
Booker to the left, Hessler to the right for Aslan. Aslan, the snap is fumbled away, picked up in the backfield by Finch, and the ball's loose again, and now they're going to drop down at about the 45. As a miscue that time in the Devil backfield as the ball came squirting free.
It looked like Aslan never really had control of it. It just squirted right by him into the to the backfield. Lewiston very fortunate to get the ball back, but now they're facing a 3rd and 11 situation, a passing situation, and the play comes in from the bench.
Floyd brings the play in, and it looked like they weren't even set that time as the ball squirted. It looked like somebody missed the snap count, being the center. Booker will go to the left. Aslan will snap it away. No, he's going to hand it up the middle. Nicely up the middle goes Finch. He's going to break left to the left side. Nice running that time. As it's Kobe Aslan, I'm sorry, on the carry, and big hole up the left side. He picks up about 15. It'll be a 1st down and 10 as the ball's sitting on the 27-yard line.
I'll tell you, Lewiston 3rd and 11, passing situation for most teams, but with their backs, I'll tell you, they can send any one of them, and they can pick up that 1st down.
Aslan has a man split off to the left as he brings him up 1st and 10. Makes the handoff, pitches it back nicely as Patton will try the left side. He's got a blocker there, and he'll get rolled out at about the 20, and we'll wait and see where they mark it if he's close to 1st down yardage.
I believe he's going to be just shy of the 1st down, but Lewiston showing their power on offense. Their running game is sharp. Just a miscue and a snap is the only play that hasn't worked for him so far in this drive.
That time, Patton got the corner turned, and he got about 9. 2nd down and 1. Way off to the right as Booker. Aslan will look in his direction. Now he's going to hand it up the middle, and it's going to go good. And it's fumbled, and Massabesic claims they have it. We'll wait for the official word, and they do have it, as the ball is fumbled and recovered by Massabesic as they stymie the Devil drive at about their own 15-yard line.
Big break for the Mustangs as Lewiston appeared to have a very strong drive going, but Second time in this drive that Lewiston has not been able to hold on to the football. This time they lost it, and Massabesic takes over. Their second possession, they scored on a field goal on their first.
1st and 10 from the 15. Mike Braun brings the Mustangs up. This time he fakes the handoff off the left side and gives it up nicely as they cut back to the right, and it'll be brought down for about a 2-yard gain as they're being conservative with Goodrich the carrier that time.
Well, I'll tell you, Massabesic, their victory over Portland, a lot of people said, well, that was a fluke, but what we've seen so far here in the first quarter, Massabesic is a team that has arrived, and they're very, very competitive.
They're showing some excellent confidence here as we're only in the first quarter of the game. 4:37 remaining time running from the I formation again. Braun will fake to the left, hand it up to the right. Goodrich breaks free on the left side and rolls good for first down yardage. Big running back Lee Goodrich is getting the main shot. He's a senior, and we'll see a lot of him tonight as that uniform will turn quickly green as he gets pounded into the LAP turf here.
I'll tell you, you could see the speed that he has. After he broke through the line, he was into the backfield, and the defensive back had to take him down, and that's not a good sign for the Blue Devils.
1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Braun has 2 men off to the left. He'll fake the handoff, give it up to Goodrich, and Goodrich is cut down nicely.
Well, that time he was met right as he crossed over the line of scrimmage, and he was turned around with that hit.
And you know who that hit was lit on was by Val Beaudet, as Val covers also as a defensive linebacker, and that time he cut the feet right out from underneath him. They'll give him about a half a yard. It'll be a 2nd and long 9. The ball just over the 25-yard line. Massabesic has a 3-0 lead on a 25-yard field goal. Again, Braun will bring 2 men off to the left. From the eye, he fakes. He's looking downfield, fires. He's going to be chased out of the pocket now. He's going to break free across midfield. Waiting are the Devils, but still good enough for first down yardage.
As we said prior to the start of the game, Massabesic in their quarterback, they have the option. He can throw the ball. He's a fine quarterback, but he can also run, and he proved that right there. He picked up the first down, had no one to throw to, had a little bit of difficulty as he was surrounded by the Blue Devils defensive line, but he just ran enough yards to pick up the first down.
Scott Stanley, that time the intended receiver, covered up quickly as Braun will bring him up. He sends Pommel in motion to the left, a quick hand up the middle, nowhere to go as the Devils bring it as a flag down. The official from this side caught something as they're discussing it at midfield. Devils indicate that it's against Massabesic. It's a legal motion, and either somebody jumped or that man in motion, Pomelo, who was coming towards us, may have cut too soon towards the line of scrimmage, so they'll mark that one off. No, Devils are going to refuse the penalty. They'll take the down instead.
Second penalty of the game. The only other penalty was on the initial kickoff, but so actually you can say this is the first real miscue of the ball game.
First official miscue. We'll go with 2nd down and 10. The ball marked at about the 37-yard line. 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Massabesic's play comes in from their coaching sidelines. Now they switch off as Stanley went to the wrong side, and he'll come back across this way from the I formation. Braun will give it up to Goodrich, the second man through the hole, and stacked up on the right side of the line, nowhere to go.
I'll tell you, one of the things you see when they decline a penalty like that, a 5-yard penalty, shows that the coaching staff has a lot of confidence in their defense. And now Massabesic is looking at a 3rd and 9 situation. It's a passing situation, but the Blue Devils have to be careful because Massabesic can put it in the air, but their fine quarterback can also run with it, as he showed on the last 3rd down situation.
3rd and 9 it is as Cox comes running off to the left, and along with him comes Stevenson as Braun sends another man in motion to the right. That'll be Goodrich, and he'll pitch it out and around the sweep around the left side. Nowhere is Beaudet. Sticks him, and there goes a flag, and we'll see if Beaudet got a hold of that face mask, and he did.
Beaudet knew right away. The official came right over to him, threw the flag down, and
now we got another one on Coach Capone as they'll throw a 15-yarder at him. We've got 2 here.
So Lewiston had looked like they appeared to have stopped the drive, but now they're going to be penalized. It's going to be a first down for Massabesic.
We see that there's some discussion going on as the first flag will be against Bodette. That'll be 15 for the face mask, and then quickly Coach Capone picked up the bench penalty. As we see, he's still steaming it, so is his coaching staff. They don't think that he got a hold of the face mask, as they're going to march off 30 big yards against the Blue Devils, as you hear a little displeasure from up above here, and that is going to hurt him.
No doubt he did get hold of the face mask. We could see it from here. Whether he did it intentionally, that's the question, but he had him stopped. He had some help, but instead of a 4th down and long situation for the Mustangs, it is now 1st down and 10 at the Blue Devils' 32-yard line.
That flag on Coach Capone came in awful quick, as he must have been really vocalizing, as it brings up a 1st and 10. You're right, a little controversy as the ball set down at the 31. Braun, the Devils are fired. He sends a man in motion to the right. He gives it, fakes it up, and passes over the middle, and caught there and hauled down at the 20. As the Devils that time were looking for the run, Bodette will get credit for the tackle, as number 87, Steve Davies, on the reception. He'll get 8. It'll be 2nd down and 2, as Bodette made sure he stayed down. As you see him going off, as Big Val, who got the penalty, planted him, and we're following him off to the right as he's wondering if he's still in Lewiston. So the Devils get 2 big penalties. A timeout has been taken by the Massabesic Mustangs. So while they take a timeout, we'll take a timeout. This is high school football on ARC TV 15.
Everybody's coming back to Boogie's Happy Jack. Yeah. For so many years we've been serving great food. Now we're coming on strong with a new attitude. Boogie knows how to make everything great. From buffets to banquets and specialty plates. So turn to the Happy Times at exit 13. And join the smiling faces. Everybody's coming back to Happy Jack. Everybody's coming back to Boogie's Happy Jack.
So we're back as we're still in a timeout. 2nd down and 2 will be the situation for the Massabesic Mustangs as their coach checks out. That'd be Greg Stilfen. He's given his offense their final instructions as we have 1:14 remaining here in the first period. Massabesic has a 3-0 lead as the defensive coach comes out for the Blue Devils, giving his team instructions as the ball spotted to play. Mike Braun brings the Mustangs up. Cox is split off to the left. He sends Pavlo in motion to the right. Again from the eye. He fakes a handoff up in and now looking way downfield in direction. There's going to be bumping. It's going to be caught for a touchdown. As that time he got himself free, as that'll be Bill Cox on the touchdown reception.
Excellent reception. He was defended by 2 Lewiston players, and he just grabbed the ball in the air and just hauled it down. And Massabesic here has a 9-0 lead, and a lot of people on this side of the field a little surprised.
A little surprised. I gave it to the wrong man. Stanley will get the touchdown as the ball is fumbled, but put down on the extra point is good. So the Massabesic Mustangs have taken a 10-0 lead, and they've kind of quieted this Blue Devil crowd. And we'll be back with the last 1:08 of the first quarter right after this.
This is it, folks. Beverage World at 256 Bartlett Street in Lewiston. They've recently expanded to serve you better with Central Maine's largest selection of fine wines and imported beers. From soft drinks to beer to fine wines, Beverage World has the lowest prices on what you drink. So come into Beverage World today at 256 Bartlett Street in Lewiston.
Well, we're back as Steve Davies will be kicking off for the Mustangs. They've taken a 10-0 lead and kind of shocked this crowd. Deep for the Devils will be Aslan. He'll be in the middle. Bodette will be off to the left. As last time, Kobe Aslan got a nice run underway. Vance Patton will be the man closest to us. Davies, the ball teed on the 40. Kicks away. It's a good kick. Going to be taken there by Aslan. Aslan going to strike, heading right up the middle. Gets a little bit off to the right side, but then brings it down. The ball squirts loose, and Massabesic claims they have it again, and they do have it. As again, the man who caught the touchdown, Scott Stanley, has come up with a ball. We had an injured Devil player, and it looks like it'll be number 32. Number 33 it'll be. That's the ball carrier, Kobe Aslan. As that time, he had the ball, but he got popped nicely, and he coughed it up, and Scott Stanley is the one who came up with it. As down below, you can see he's getting tended to. Aslan was the ball carrier.
Well, that would be a terrible loss for the Blue Devils if Aslan could not come back in this game. The big surprise here tonight has been how disciplined Massabesic has played in the first quarter. Lewiston has been plagued with mistakes, 2 fumbles that were recovered by Massabesic, and of course those 2 costly penalties. And they're looking up at the scoreboard. They're trailing 10-0, and this is not a position that Lewiston's accustomed to being in. And now they've got to regroup as we're almost through the first quarter, just a minute 2 remaining, and they're going to have to just play a little more discipline, and now they need to get the points up on the board. And one thing, Dave, we saw earlier tonight that could come into play later on is that Massabesic does have a fine kicking game, and if they get the ball down within the Lewiston 20 or 25, they're a threat to put points up on the board.
Well, that's what they're going to do. We know they can kick. As again, they're tending to the right knee of Kobe Aslan as he went down on that play. He's back, if you can believe it or not. Aslan's back, and you'll never believe who else is back. That's the one and only Gab Wattab. His show begins Wednesday, September 28th at 7 p.m. only on ARC TV 15. And you can be part of the action as you call in and chat with and gab with I should say Gab Wattab. That's September 28th, the season premiere, as Gab Wattab returns to ARC TV 15. Kobe Aslan up and walking. And more importantly, Mike Braun has got the ball, and he's moving from his own 42-yard line. 40 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Pomelo starts in motion towards him on the right. He hands it. Now he takes it. Pomelo sniffed out nicely, but he breaks free around the left side, as that time he's still cutting free, and he gets big yardage, first down yardage. As Vance Patton that time had it sniffed out, couldn't come up with a tackle. And beautiful running as Pomelo will pick up about 11. No, they're going to give him short as he must have rolled out. And it'll be 2nd down and 2, but beautiful running around that right side.
You talk about discipline. That time he was caught behind the line of scrimmage, didn't panic, got away from his tackle, and picked up about 8 big yards. So Massabesic continues to stymie the Lewiston defense, and I don't think they're going to get this one off, as the horn will go off, ending the first quarter of play. So after one full quarter here from the LAP, it's Massabesic Mustangs 10, the Lewiston High School Blue Devils nothing.
At Parody Insurance, we take the time to care at Parody when you need us. You know that we'll be there. Security protection, writing teachers too. At Parody Insurance, the family works for you.
Protect yourself against expensive medical bills due to sickness or accident with a policy from Parity Insurance.
Busy, 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 looking out for you. Parity Insurance, the family works for you.
Everybody's coming back to Boogie's Happy Jack. Yeah. For so many years we've been serving great food. Now we're coming on strong with a new attitude. The Boogie knows how to make everything great. From buffets to banquets and specialty plates. So turn to the Happy Times at exit 13 and join the smiling faces. Everybody's coming back to Happy Jack. Happy Jack. Everybody's coming back to Boogie's Happy Jack.
Business a little slower than usual? Let Cablevision Advertising breathe new life into your business. Cablevision brings you all the excitement of NFL football, pro golf, and the NCAA College Basketball Championships on ESPN, the total sports network. The best in movies, series, and original programming on USA, and all of the news all of the time on CNN. So let Cablevision shake the cobwebs out of your advertising. Call 783-2177 and find out why Cablevision has it all.
While we're back, you see the officials indicating holding. That was the first play of the second quarter, as it was a passing play as Braun dropped down to pass, and he got one of his linemen was caught holding, so they'll mark the ball down. It was a 2nd down in 1 situation he was facing, but they'll mark it back now as the Devils get a chance to get the benefit of a penalty, as they'll take him back 10. And it'll bring up a second down and about 13. The ball spotted right on the 45-yard down. Holding is the call. Just underway here in the second quarter. You missed only that quick play while we were away on commercial break.
First penalty of the ball game against the Mustangs.
Ron brings the Mustangs up from the eye. He sends Cox way off to the left. Braun fakes a handoff, rolls to his left, looking downfield, gets it off in Cox's direction. There's Pomelo, but no, there's, for the Devils, it looks like Bodette.
I don't know who he was throwing that ball to. Apparently, he was throwing to a point on the field, but his intent receiver must have been held up at the line of scrimmage because only blue were on that ball.
Dave Hessler, I'm sorry, on that time with it, as you see him running off the field, and you're right. I don't know where his receiver was. So the Devils will take it on a turnover now. The ball spotted at the 15-yard line, and the Devils need some offense.
Well, they need to get something going. They've really only had the ball once on offense tonight, and they fumbled it away. So they need to get something going. They've got to get the offense into the ball game so they get points up on the board.
Aslan from the wishbone brings his Devils up. He's got Booker off to the right. He fakes it, gives it up to second man through the hole. He's going to be stacked up right there. We'll see if that was Bodette. Oh, the ball carrier will be Vance Patton.
You know, one thing this first quarter did for Massabesic is, I'll tell you, it gave them all the confidence in the world. You can see that they're playing tough at the line of scrimmage, and they know they can play with Lewiston. So this could be a long night for the Blue Devils.
Patton back in the backfield for the Devils as, again, Kobe Aslan below us is still on the bench. This time he'll pitch it out. Aslan is going to be hauled. There's the face mask penalty 3 times as the flags come raining in. And I think the official downfield had something else.
We're going to have to wait and see. There's no doubt there was a face mask violation on the Mustangs that time, but there was a late flag that came in from the other side of the field, so we might have another penalty on the play.
It was very flagrant as that time the penalty, you could see it from way away, but you're right. I thought maybe we had something else, but the official says no way, as he'll mark 15 off.
That time I think all the officials were testing their flags because they all came flying in.
So the face mask against the Devils gets equalized here as the Mustangs are guilty of it, and they'll move the ball up to about the 31-yard line. So the Devils get a first down on a play that was going nowhere.
And we see Massabesic picking up their second penalty in just a couple plays.
Aslan will bring the Devils up from the wish. He's got Plurt off to the right. He'll fake the handoff, and he'll give it up off to the left side as Bodette will get dragged down at the 36-yard line, as Aslan is hiding that quarterback option nicely as he hands it up, and he continues with his follow-through. Bodette will get 5. It'll be second down and 5. The ball on the 36.
Very big possession for the Blue Devils. They've got to get some points on the board. They trailed 10-0. We're into the second quarter, and so far they've been stopped every time by Massabesic, so a big possession for the Blue Devils.
Kevin Plurt is tight in on the right as quickly Aslan goes. He hands it up to Bodette. Bodette rambles nicely for close to first down yardage. As Big Val will get the ball close enough to spot. Now they're going to mark it back. Now the officials taking a quick look at it, and they're going to call for a measurement.
You can see Bodette's strength. He was hit, and he has those strong legs, spun around, got that few extra yards that will bring out the measurement.
It appears initially that it was going to be a little bit short, but we'll get the official marking here, and it is just a hair short. They'll give about a 2-inch margin there, so the Devils will have a second down and inches. And a good down maybe to air the ball out a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you, it gives them a lot of options.
Whether Coach Capone wants to put a little dazzle in his offense that has kind of been stymied at this point is a question we'll see, as Kevin Plurt will come to the left. Still the full wish in behind him as he gives it off to Bodette on the right side, and he'll get the first down yardage.
Well, I guess Coach Capone's going to play it safe. He's going to keep it on the ground. And again, Lewiston needs to get some points on the board, and he probably will just use that basic offense, try to grind down some yards and get those 6 points up on the board.
That's his main attempt now. as Aslan again, we've got a man to the left and right. Fakes it, pitches it off on the left side. Coming away is Patton. Patton gets around the corner. Patton going to be shot out of bounds at about the 42-yard line. As it's a first down and 10 for the Devils is Patton that time. You see his speed when he gets outside. As he gets the corner turned and gets some nice running in there. They only put him in as 180 pounds, but he looks a little smaller than that as they list him at 180 as he gets that corner turn. And first and 10 for the Devils is now Massabesic is going to call timeout. So while the Massabesic Mustangs get a chance to talk on defense, we're going to take a chance to bring you this message on high school football on ARC TV 15.
Everybody's coming back to Boogie's Happy Jack. For so many years we've been serving great food. Now we're coming on strong with a new attitude. The Boogie knows how to make everything great. From buffets to banquets and specialty plates. So turn to the happy times at exit 13. And join the smiling faces. Everybody's coming back to Happy Jack. Everybody's coming back to Boogie's Happy Jack.
9:17, the time remaining here in the second quarter. Lewiston trailing 10-0. They have possession of the ball at the Massabesic 43-yard line. And they have decided to keep the ball on the ground in this drive.
Conservative offense, and that's the best offense for Coach Capone with his club right now because they got to get that offensive started. Got to credit Massabesic for their defense has been tough on that run. They've shut down Bodette pretty good now as they fake the handoff, and boom, right there is Patton is going to be nailed nicely at the line by number 74. That'll be Tim Guinard as he flattens the ball carrier.
I'll tell you, that time the Mustangs won the battle of the line because they were in the Blue Devils' backfield before the ball carrier even had the ball.
Defensive tackle position, Guinard comes crashing through, and now we have another timeout as some equipment needs checking in the huddle.
Let me tell you, we saw that last week on our telecast. The officials quick to blow that whistle anytime there's any problem with any type of equipment. They blow the whistle, they make sure that it's all right, and I think that's very good.
It's a safety for the kids, as that time Bodette has a helmet change, and he had a problem with the strap, but nevertheless, Aslan will bring him up. Booker split wide to the right. Aslan from his own 46, he gives the handoff, second man through the holes, Patton. Patton's going to get his legs cut out. He'll be lucky if he gets to the line of scrimmage.
He picked up about one on the play. It's going to be a third and long situation, a third and about 12.
As down, excuse me, Norm, down below us, I see Kobe Aslan has got the knee iced, and it looks like that'll be it for him for the evening. So Vance Patton will be filling in the Devil backfield. The Devils show a different formation this time. No out of the wishes. Aslan will look downfield, getting some pressure, fires it over nicely. Hauled down nicely by Kevin Plord, and he's still falling forward enough for first down yardage. And he got at that all by himself as he'll go down at about the 34-yard line. The officials will wait to look, but it looks good enough for first down. They give it to him.
Perfect pass that time. Spotted his man down the field and put it right to Plord. And Plord, with his strength, pushed backwards a little and picked up the first down. So Lewiston keeps their drive alive with 7:49 remaining second quarter.
Kevin Plord 6'1", and then you're right, just used his height to fall forward. As now Aslan's looking to the air again, he fires over in this direction. It's going to be caught, and tripped up is going to be Hessler. Hessler, you could see, wanted it at the 21-yard line.
Fine tackle by Goodrich. It appeared that he had broken free from both tacklers, but Goodrich just put his arm out, and you could see the strength of his arm as he brought down Hessler.
He brought him down, and he's a the touchdown-saving tackle as the Devils get 13 on that pass completion as Hessler being used on this left side. As Aslan deciding to air it out a little bit. He looks again as Plord is split wide to the right. He keeps the wishbone in behind him. This time he fakes the handoff off to the left and gives it off to the right. And that time Al Bodette comes out of the pile with the ball, not even going down.
Very impressed with that interior line, defensive line. of Massabesic. They really close up those holes, and let me tell you, to stop a player like Bodette, you gotta be strong, because Bodette can carry people with him.
He's in at 195 pounds as they put him here in the official program, and he's been the major bulk of the carrying for the Devils. Aslan keeps everybody tight in behind him. From the 20, second down and 9. This time he fakes it around the left side, and Patton has nowhere to go. Is right there are 3 green jerseys.
Well, I'll tell you, that time it looked like Lewiston. That was a broken play, or somebody missed the signal, because usually when the quarterback turns around, his players should be right there. The quarterback turned around, Aslan turned around, looked around, and finally was able to hand it off. But just that brief time period enabled the Mustangs to break that play right up.
Tim Guinard again on the tackle. As you're right, the play seemed to take forever to develop, and he sniffed it out. Florida's wide to the right for Aslan. Booker is off to his left. Long snap count, looking downfield in that direction. Feels the pressure. Now he fires it out in the flats to Patton, and Patton won't get first down yardage. He'll be dropped probably 4 yards short, maybe 5 yards, as he released out of the backfield. And now the officials are going to allow Lewiston to take a timeout.
Well, I'll tell you, they don't have any alternative, but they've got to go for this. It's going to be a 4th down and 5 situation. They're trailing 10-0, and there's 5:45 remaining here in the second quarter. They need to pick up that first down. They need to get points. We keep saying that, but if Massabesic manages to stop Lewiston on this drive, I'll tell you, they're going to be pumped.
The Devils were pumped coming into today's game, but they're not so pumped right now, as their offense has kind of been stumbling around out there. And they feel that you're right, Norm, that they have to get something here, because if they're shut down, that shows that their offense can't get very far, and they haven't been much more beyond the 15-yard line when I think they fumbled their way down on the high school or the junior high school end of the field. So they haven't gotten very far.
Well, I'll tell you, one thing coming into today's game, Lewiston had managed to put a lot of points up on the board, and they had been real stingy giving him up. But so far here in the ball game, they haven't been able to put them up on the board, and they've given up 10 points.
They've given up 10 points, and they haven't given up very much all year, as they've been excellent on defense. But now they're going to be tested, as they're going to go quickly. 4th and about 6. As Aslan looks over to the left, he fires it over. There's Booker. Booker's going to take it, and he's going to get inside the 5. He's still being hauled, and he brings it fumbled out of bounds nicely. First down yardage for the Devils, and a beautiful pattern run by Booker, as it'll be 1st and goal for the Devils.
Big play for the Blue Devils. Now they are
on about the 5-yard line is where they're going to mark it, as he was popped out of bounds.
And this is where a player like Val Bodette comes in. Strong, and he's going to be challenging that line.
Slot right. Now they send the slot man, and he switches over to the left as they give it up to Patton. He's going to try left side, and he's going to crash. Touchdown. Vince Patton will get the Devils on the board at the 5:33 mark here at the second quarter. And you called it right, but what a decoy Bodette played that time.
Well, I think they were thinking the same way we were. You look for Bodette to get the ball, and maybe Coach Capone said, hey.
Here's that shift that the Devils employed last year, where everybody splits off, and now they move it over to the right. Aslan will be doing the kicking for the Devils. Snap is down, kick is away, and it is good. So the Blue Devils have got themselves within a field goal here, as they brought this game to a 10-7 score. And if not more importantly, the 7 points, the attitude.
Well, I'll tell you, we said that it was an important drive for the Blue Devils. They needed to get on the scoreboard. They did. Now it's going to be up to the Devils defense to shut Massabesic down. The only way you're going to get points on the board, unless it's a miscue by the Mustangs, is to get the ball to your offense. If you can't get the ball to your offense, you can't win ball games.
And that's exactly the point. You need that ball to get the point. Goodrich will be deep on the right, and Pomelo will be on the left for the Massabesic Mustangs, as Kevin Plord will be doing the kicking for the Devils. Crowd good size here at the LAP, as it's finally got people crammed in and got a little emotion in the crowd now. Plord sets his team. Kick is away. It's going to be touched, but no, over the heads of one of the one-up men. Pomelo takes it. Pomelo starts at his 20, and he's going to be grabbed there and hauled down, as the Devils will bring it down with number 52, Paul Fontaine, that time. Fine defense as he sniffed it out and grabbed the runner at about the 29-yard line. So there, Massabesic will take over, 1st and 10.
Now the Devils defense is going to have to play tough. They've got to shut them down. They've got to give the ball back to their offensive team with fine field position, and they've got to shut them down right here.
Braun from the right, Braun will bring from the eye as he sends Pomelo. Now he hands a second man through the hole will be Goodrich. Goodrich is going to be stacked up as this Devil defense is showing signs of getting a little pumped up, as they'll give him about a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9, the ball just shy of the 30. As that's what they're going to need. Their offense is giving them points, and they're going to need a good defensive effort here. There's plenty of time remaining, 4:43 remaining to shut the Mustangs down. Scott Stanley comes to the right for Mike Braun from the eye. Braun, this time he pitches it out on the left side. Goodrich. Goodrich is met and hauled down nicely in there, and a flag comes raining in, and we'll see if what the flag will be called.
Maybe against Lewiston.
Jason Versey that time on the tackle, beautifully done.
And another penalty that's going to hurt the Blue Devils, as again that time a big defensive play is going to be nullified by a penalty, and it's going to be a big one. It's going to be 15 yards against the Blue Devils. So
Coach Capone down below us is asking for an explanation, as it'll be 15 big yards.
It had to be after the tackle. Both players were heading down towards the ground. Whether they caught him grabbing the face mask, it didn't appear, but it looked like he might have thrown a punch.
Gave him a forearm is what the official signal is, as coach is not happy with the head referee here, as he's given him some time. They gave that a punch, and that'll be 15 big yards. 1st down from the 45-yard line. Pomelo comes in motion, and Braun fakes a handoff, rolling to his right, gets a block, gets free and fires it downfield. Got a man there, and it's going to be dropped. As Goodrich, that time the intended receiver, and Mike Braun with some excellent scrambling around in his backfield as he gets planted.
Two things developed on that play. You're right, Braun did some scrambling, some fine scrambling, but he had all the time in the world. Credit Lewiston, the defensive back, they had the receivers covered, but a lot of time for Braun to get set up. Even when he ran out of time, he just kind of fumbled around the backfield and managed to get the pass away.
Eric LaChance with some initial pressure, but he scrambled free of that. Pomelo goes in motion towards the line, as this time he pitches it around the left side. Here comes Goodrich again, and sniffed out beautifully, breaks free, gets around the outside corner, got 2 men to beat, but he's going to be hauled down at the 20, as this time he can't outrun Dan Melanson for the Devils, as he's brought down the side of the 19 for about a 35-yard run, as that time we see Goodrich's speed as he exploded off the right side hole, and he'll get them inside the 19.
Costly penalty Lewiston picked up just 2 plays ago, because now Massabesic is again challenging, and they're within range with their fine kicker. If Lewiston stops them, they can get some more points on the board.
Points they can get, as Mike Braun will bring him up. He'll send Scott Stanley off to the left. Pomelo comes in motion to the right. First man through the hole is the ball carrier, and he'll get off the left side is Dave Stevenson on the carry.
Maybe picked up 1, maybe 2 on that play. Time remaining here in the first half, 3:28. Plenty of time for the Mustangs. But right now, Lewiston has to be looking for that turnover.
That's the thing you have to look for here, is to break the back of this drive, is to get a turnover.
And you're probably going to see the Blue Devils going for that ball. They're going to be tackling the ball, try to get the ball back.
Bill Cox goes to the left for Braun. Braun from the eye, fakes it to Goodrich, gives it to Goodrich. Goodrich opens a nice hole up on the right side, and he'll go for 5 before he's dragged down at the 15. As you see that hole open up nicely right over center.
Credit the Blue Devils that time. The hole was there, but they reacted quickly, shut it down, and they kept them to just a gain of about 4 on the play. So it's going to be a 3rd and about 5 situation, and big play for the Mustangs.
Scott Stanley checks into the Massabesic lineup with the play from the bench. 2:25 clock running here as Stanley will go off to the left for Braun. Braun sends Pomelo in motion. He fakes a handoff, fires it over the middle nicely. Nobody there. The intended receiver will be Davies as he came off the right side of the offensive line. It'll bring up a 4th and 5. Big call for Massabesic coach Stilfen.
Well, I'll tell you, we'll see if they'll go for 3 or if they'll gamble and try to pick up the first down and possibly the touchdown. But it looks like they are going to go.
They're going to go. It'll be about a 31-yard field goal should he attempt it. And he had the leg on that first one, but I may be pushing him a little too much at that point.
I'll tell you, the wind not a factor here tonight. The flag is absolutely still, and they're going for it.
So it'll be 4th and 5 as Braun sends Pomelo to the right. He fakes a handoff, flags go flying, and he's going to dump it out to Goodrich. Goodrich is going to be stopped for a loss, but keep in mind we have flags. They came in the area where we may have had illegal motion.
Well, we'll have to wait and see if it's against the Blue Devils.
It'll be against Mustangs, as I think they'll show some illegal motion. And of course the Devils will decline it.
They're talking with Bodette, so you know the Devils are going to decline it. They're going to get the ball.
Mike Braun, the quarterback, asking for an explanation of what the call is. I think they're going to give
first down Blue Devils.
First down Blue Devils as it goes against the Mustangs.
Well, now we'll see if Lewiston has a hurry-up offense. There's 2:10 remaining here in the second quarter. The ball is at their own 18-yard line.
Officials still having a discussion out there as they've stopped the clock. The Devils want to go on offense as the officials continue to talk it over amongst themselves. I guess they reach a consensus, and the Devils will take over 1st and 10 from about the 17. Aslan will see if he decides to go to the air. He's got Booker way off to the left. Booker's giving him some kind of sign. He looks at Booker's direction and he fires it over to him as Booker gave him a sign to say, I'm going to cut it back, and he does cut it back, but he's going to be hauled down at about the 27. The fans want a face mask. They won't get it as Booker that time signaled to Aslan that I'm going to be doing something, and he knew how to pick it up. Hurry up offense for the Devils. The officials will stop it here. As they may say, do we have enough for first down? They give it to him, so it's 1st down and 10. As that time the officials got caught up in the rush of hurry up offense. Plurt is wide off to the right for Aslan. Aslan came over to the bench to get the signals. One man in to block. He's got 2 tight ends in beside him. Again, he looks in Booker's direction, fires it over. Booker takes it that time and gets 3 yards and then runs out of bounds at the 44. Good enough again for first down yardage, and more importantly, gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Minute 40 remaining here and a half, and Lewiston 2 successive passing plays to Booker.
And they're looking again in Booker's direction as the officials want that ball spotted down from the 44. Aslan wasting no time. Now they're going to wave the flags again, as I think somebody may have jumped on the Devil line as he picked his hand up.
Looks like he's pointing to big number 69 for the Blue Devils. And that would be Mark Gervais.
He picked his hand up, and once he does that, once he's in a set position, he can't move, so they'll move it back 5. It'll be 1st and 15. The ball spotted on the 39. Aslan has Booker to his left, and he's got Plurt way off to the right. Now he looks at Plurt's, now he looks at Booker's, now he's going to go deep to Booker. Booker gets by his man, the ball underthrow. Booker does not come down with it at the 30. But Booker got the full weight of another man on top, but he does get up.
Nice attempt by Booker, but a fine defensive play by Braun as he stayed right with him.
You see the speed of Booker that time. If he had turned it on and had the ball overthrown, he would have got it, but he couldn't. Ball underthrown slightly, and it drops down at the 30, incomplete. 1:25 remaining here in the second quarter. Same show for Aslan. He's got Floor to the right and Booker off on his left. Looks in Booker's direction. No, he's going to be slammed down, and the ball comes free. They're going to give it as a fumble. So they're going to give it as a fumble. No forward arm motion is the official ruling. So from the 34-yard line, Massabesic is going to have another opportunity on offense.
Well, you could see that coming from the previous play. Massabesic was sending everybody in. Aslan on the previous play just managed to get it away. That time he was caught with the ball, couldn't hold on to it. So Massabesic 1st and 10. And they've got another opportunity to get points up on
Mike
the board.
Braun taking a lot of time in the huddle. I don't think he understands the clock is running. He's got Stanley off to the left. He fakes a handoff. He's looking on the right. He's going to take off. Now he's going to fire over right into the hands of one of the Devils, and he's got only one man to beat. That's Bodette. Bodette's going to be hauled out of bounds. As that time, Bodette should have been the intended receiver.
That time, Braun just threw it away. No one around, no white shirts. And Bodette picks up the interception.
Braun.
Lewiston gets the ball back with 52 seconds. They've got the ball just about midfield.
We've had turnovers galore here in this first half, and now they're saying Bodette stepped out of bounds. They're going to say he was pushed out of bounds at about the 42-yard line, so they'll bring it back. They had originally spotted it at midfield. So Val Bodette that time gets the reception on the interception, and Aslan can have his Devils back on offense.
We'll wait and see if the Mustangs send everybody in again. They know it's a passing situation.
Florida, the ball's fumbled on the snap, but Aslan comes away with it. He's got to run out of bounds as he's got nowhere to go. And he's going to be hit out of bounds, and we get the late hit as one of the Massabesic players creams him out of bounds, and we'll get 15 on this play as the bench went sailing back, and poor Kobe Aslan on the bench for the Devils, who's injured, saw everybody coming at him and nowhere to go. So we'll tack 15 big yards on the rough after the whistle.
47 seconds remain in the half, and a costly penalty, and really a penalty that they shouldn't have taken. The man was out of bounds.
Play was out, play had stopped, and he gets knocked down into the bench, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 40. This last minute, 2 minutes, has been about 10 minutes long as they've had penalties and turnovers and all kinds of wild stuff. So 1st and 10 from the 40. Not much time remaining, 47 seconds. And we'll see what happens as Dave Hessler checks wide to the right for Aslan. He'll bring Booker off to his left. This time he's going to show a wishbone. He's going to show run, but now a little mix-up as they break it off and become tight ends. Bodette is the ball carrier. He gets off the left side on a run. Bodette breaking free at the 30-yard line, and you can see the ball being tried to take away, but Big Val says no way. And the Devils will probably, no, they're going to try to hurry up, but the officials have to move the chains.
It stopped the clock, a 1st down, 40 seconds remaining, and the Devils threatening the ball at the 30-yard line.
Aslan again looking at Booker. Booker waving his hands like, give me the ball, as they set him down again. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 30. Aslan barking the signals out, 34 seconds remaining. He looks in Booker's direction, fires it over to Booker. Booker tries to squirk outside, he can't. He's caught inbounds, he does not get out of bounds, and now the Devils are gonna have to take a timeout. Booker looked for it, but the official said, no, your knees were down, and he continues to complain.
He picked up about 6 yards on that play. It's gonna be 2nd down and 4, but more importantly, just 23 seconds remaining here in the half. And I believe that could be Lewiston's last timeout.
They called, I know of one, they may have called that second one, so if it is, they were trying to save that. The ball is at the 24, and I think Booker that time knows he wants the ball. He doesn't know what he has around him. He tried to make a deking move to get free, but he couldn't. And he had to go down inbounds. He tried to leap. So it'll be 2nd down, and yardage is important. It's the down that we're concerned with in the time right now.
Massabesic, interestingly enough, in this set of plays, contrary to what they did in the previous set of plays, they switched to defensive backs. Braun was covering Booker previously, and now they've switched it around. So maybe the coach saw something. Maybe he was concerned that Booker maybe had a little more speed than Braun. So he switched his defensive back around, but Booker still managed to get the ball.
Booker still manages. He's got Stanley on a defensive end position, and Booker's not really being concerned as Stanley's is picking up the tight end. Aslan looks in the direction of Hessler, and now Hessler fakes and cuts around the right side. He's there, and the ball's going to be wrestled. We'll see who comes. Touchdown! As we had to wait and see who came down with it as both players went up.
Boy, I'll tell you, that play was decided as they were going down. Both players had their hands on the ball, and it came down to who was the strongest. But Lewiston, a big touchdown with just 16 seconds remaining in the half.
Big touchdown is a nice reception made. Down in that far corner is, I believe it was Hessler who made the reception. And you're right, it was decided on the way down as both players had their hands on the ball. The Devils show no fake this time. They'll go straight up for that point. Aslan will be doing the kicking. Snap is fumbled, and now they're going to have trouble, and they give it off. He's going to try to break around. He's got a man open, but now he just loses the grip on the ball, and the ball falls incomplete. So the Devils don't get a chance to get it, but they still remain uneven as they get the lead at this point of the game with just 16 seconds remaining. And what a turn of events.
Well, going back to that touchdown pass, the reception, we could clearly see both players. We had 4 hands on that ball, and they were going down. So somewhere between the time they made contact with the ball and the time they hit the ground, Hessler managed to out-muscle his defender and come down with the ball and hold on to it. So an incredible play.
That was a beautiful play. In that far corner of the end zone, you can see Hessler. He faked to the right, cut back, and headed for the end zone. The ball a little underthrown, but it gave him a chance to jump and come down with the ball.
And you can't fault the defender on that play. He was there. He had his hands on the ball. Hey, he was beat.
Kevin Plourd will do the kicking. Again, Goodrich and Pomelo will be deep for the Mustangs. The Devils have taken a 13-10 lead. Just 16 seconds remaining here in the first half. Plourd's kick is a squibber, picked up by one of the upmen. Scott Stanley at the 30. He breaks to the left side. He's going to be grabbed and hauled down there at the 35-yard line, as that time Patton on the tackle. And it probably took 4 seconds, took 5 seconds for that play. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line as they bring it ahead. And 1 play left, and the defense for the Devils has got to be worried about any bombs.
Well, we'll see what Massabesic's going to do, whether they're going to throw it all up in the air and go for broke, or whether they're going to just settle for a 3-point deficit.
Clock has started as Pomelo comes in for the Massabesic. They're going to pitch out the right side. Goodrich on the option. Goodrich is going to fire it downfield. He's got Pomelo, but the ball's going to be overthrown, and the time will expire in the first half from the LAP. Is that time the Massabesic Mustangs show a little bit of razzle-dazzle, and it falls incomplete. So the Devils will take a 13-10 lead into the locker room at the half, and we'll be back in a couple minutes to talk about what our views are on the first half right after this.
This is it, folks. Beverage World at 256 Bartlett Street in Lewiston. They've recently expanded to serve you better with Central Maine's largest selection of fine wines and imported beers. From soft drinks to beer to fine wines, Beverage World has the lowest prices on what you drink. So come into Beverage World today at 256 Bartlett Street in Lewiston.
At Sam's, we're special. Taste how good it can be. At Sam's, you're special. You'll love our commitment to quality. Made to order, fresh to you.
Since 39, we're great at what we do.
Sam's, Italian sandwich shops. Taste the way good food should. At Sam's, you never had it so good.
At Parody Insurance, we take the time to care. At Parody, when you need us, you know that we'll be there. Security, protection, to anything you do. At Parody Insurance, the family works for you.
Protect yourself against expensive medical bills due to sickness or accident with a policy from Parity Insurance.
Busy, 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 looking out for you. Parity Insurance, the family works for you.
Are you in business for yourself or make advertising decisions? If you are, you need ARC TV. Be seen in sporting programming like Outdoors in Maine, Mainly Bass, The World of Harness, high school sports, informative shows like Women Wise, Gab with Tab, and so much more. Pick up the phone now and call 783-2177. That's 783-2177. Do it now. You owe it to yourself to at least get the information. You'll be amazed at the results and the affordable rates, only on ARC TV.
Well, we're back as you get a chance at the scoreboard, and it's not 13-1. It's 13-10 as they've dropped a number from the scoreboard here at the LAP as the band will entertain the fans here. And the first half of today's game of the week is a topsy-turvy one.
Well, I'll tell you, Lewiston's very, very lucky to be ahead. They were totally outplayed in the first quarter. They turned it around a little bit in the second quarter, but it was that big play with 16 seconds remaining in the half, the pass from Aslan to Hessler that put them ahead. But Massabesic, I'll tell you, if there was any doubts as to their ability, they're gone now. Very, very strong team, and Lewiston's going to have their hands full in the second half.
I think one of the things that really played a major impact in the attitude of that first game, of the first half, is the penalties. We started out in the first period with only one, and that was quick. But then we got a raining amount in the later on in the first, and I think that really turned the complexion of the game around a little bit for the Devils because they got some big ones against them. They kind of equaled off in the end, but in what started out to be a clean game turned dirty as we got a lot of face masks and a lot of hitting after the play. So that, I think, played a major attitude to change for the both teams as they played in this first half.
For the Blue Devils to be successful in the second half, they're going to come out and have to play discipline, ball. Their defense is going to have to avoid those costly mistakes, and they're really going to have to establish a better ground game, which really they had a few good plays, but they weren't consistent. And Lewiston's got the backs. They've got the backs to really tear up some yardage on the ground, and we really didn't see it in the first half. I think that's one thing that we'll probably see in the second half.
That's how we see it as we talk about the first half. We'll be back to see the second half of today's high school football game of the week here on ARC TV 15. We'll be back right after this.
Everybody's coming back to Boogie's Happy Jack. Yeah. For so many years we've been serving great food. Now we're coming on strong with a new attitude. Boogie knows how to make everything great. From buffets to banquets and specialty plates. So turn to the happy times at exit 13. And join the smiling faces. Everybody's coming back to Happy Jack. Everybody's coming back to Boogie's Happy Jack.
This is it, folks. Beverage World at 256 Bartlett Street in Lewiston. They've recently expanded to serve you better with Central Maine's largest selection of fine wines and imported beers. From soft drinks to beer to fine wines, Beverage World has the lowest prices on what you drink. So come into Beverage World today at 256 Bartlett Street in Lewiston.
At Parody Insurance, we take the time to care at Parody when you need us. You know that we'll be there. Security, protection, writing teachers too. At Parody Insurance, the family works for you.
Protect yourself against expensive medical bills due to sickness or accident with a policy from Parity Insurance.
Busy, 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 looking out for you. Parody Insurance, the family works for you.
Ever tried watching every NFL game? Miss anything? Well, Sunday, see all the key plays from every game on ESPN's NFL Primetime. Week after week, NFL Primetime is football's finest hour with Chris Berman, Pete Axthelm, and Tom Jackson. See it all in one place. NFL Primetime. Sunday nights at 7:15 Eastern on ESPN.
Well, we're back, just about set to start the second half of today's game of the week here on ARC TV 15. Lewiston High School Blue Devils are going to go into the start of the half with a 13-10 lead. And we looked, as Norvio pointed out, as we were getting ready to come back, we look and see Kobe Aslan carried onto the field again as he was carried off. So I guess he's out, and it looks like the knee is out for him. So he'll sit, and we'll have to keep an eye and see how he recuperates, gets back into this Blue Devil lineup.
Well, it's going to be inspiration for his teammates. Here he is. He's got an injury. He's not coming back. Chose not to get out of uniform. Chose to be carried back out to the bench. And the Blue Devils are going to need a little bit of inspiration. They have found out that Massabesic is for real. Their victory over Portland wasn't a fluke. They gave Bitterford all they could handle last week, and the Blue Devils in the first half found out exactly how good this team is. The Blue Devils have a 13-10 lead. They're going to get the ball on the kickoff to open up the second half, and for Lewiston, they need to establish a more consistent ground game. If they can do that, they can control this ball game.
Ground game and stay free of the penalty is what is going to be the major point as we just get ready to start. Steve Davies has the ball teed up for Massabesic. Booker, Patton, and Bodette are deep for the Devils. Patton is dead center, and they're going to go to Booker's direction. Booker's going to take it at about the 20. Booker's going to head towards the middle of the field. Booker gets free. Speed burst at the 38. And set down right there is Troy Brooker for the Devils. So the Devils will take over 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
We'll see if the Devils have made any adjustments to their offense. And we'll get a quick see at that as Aslan goes into the huddle with the play.
Get back to the basics, as I'm sure what Coach Capone was talking to his club at the halftime. Nobody split from the straight wishbone is Aslan. Gives it to the first man through the hole and brought down hardly. As again, they look for a face mask. They won't get it. It is Bodette on the carry. He'll get 2, 2nd down and 8.
Again, that time, Massabesic, that line, very strong. And to hold Bodette to 2 yards on a carry is quite an accomplishment.
It's a feat in itself, as again, Aslan keeps everybody tight from the straight wishbone. Bodette is his first back. This time he gives it off to Bodette. Same play. Bodette this time gets more yardage up the right side. Big rambling ball goes in nicely. As Bodette goes down at the 46-yard line. 1st and 10. He picks up about 10.
That looked more like a classic Bodette run where he comes to the line, makes contact, breaks free, and picks up that big yardage. And that time he was actually hauled down. He tripped over a couple players that were on the field.
Once he makes that first clearance, once he clears the line of scrimmage, it's all on his own. As again, Aslan will bring 1st and 10 from the 47. Fakes the handoff to Bodette, gives it up to Patton. Patton off the right side this time gets nice running yardage. As he trips in on across the 40-yard line, he'll get a good 7. 2nd and 3, and so now the Devils have done just what you said, Norm. Fundamental offense is what they've come back and run.
Establish that running game and to be consistent with it, because once you do that, it opens up so many other options for the offense.
It keeps the defense guessing, and that's just what it does. You're right.
Keeps them honest. That's
Keeps,
what it does.
keeps them honest, too. Officials will whistle it up. Now Aslan splits 2 receivers off. He fakes it. Now he keeps the option on the option. He's going to keep it. He's going to get around the left side of the line, but he's going to be dragged out of bounds close to 1st down yardage as they'll want to spot it.
I think he was looking to see whether he should pitch it out, and what he didn't know is if he would have kept the ball and not looked around, he could have picked up some additional yardage.
So now they're going to be facing a measurement as the officials are going to say, bring those chains in. And I think you're right, as he looked and it was an option. He's on the short side of the field, so he ran out of field. The ball is right on this sideline, as it'll be hard for us to pick up. As it's going to be, it appears just shy. It's shy by about 2 feet.
That's just shy.
That's just shy. Well, it's hard for the officials when they're when the chains are all the way across the field to get an idea of where the ball needs to be. And it assists the coach, too. Gives him a chance to see where he needs to be. 3rd down and 2 feet will be the call for Coach Capone. Just underway here in the 3rd quarter. 10-15 remaining. The Devils still clinging to that 3-point lead. Chains are set. Ball is spotted. We're ready. Aslan keeps everybody tight from the full tailback. The ball is dropped. It's still loose, and it's going to be Massabesic ball at the 40. As that time the ball squirted free as the tailback tried to bring it through, and he was not able to get it. And coming up with a ball from Massabesic will be Lee Goodrich. And he, from the linebacker position, was able to see it, spot it, and drop on it. So the Devils cough it up at the 40.
Well, they cough it up again, and very uncharacteristic of the Blue Machine is giving up the ball on turnovers. And so far tonight, they've done it 3 times.
Done it 3 times as Mike Braun will bring up the Massabesic Mustangs from the eye, gives it to Goodrich. Goodrich over the right side, tripped up and falls down. And boy, is he frustrated, as he knew he had big yardage had he hadn't been tripped.
Exactly. He saw a lot of running room, and again, as Bodette earlier, he just tripped over some players that were laying on the ground after the blocks and saved the big gain that time by Massabesic.
He'll get 3 yards. That'll be 2nd down and 7. Ball over the 40 at about the 43-yard line. Goodrich has Pomelo off to the right. He pitches it out to Goodrich. Goodrich tries the left side, cut down nicely as Val Bodette comes in defensively this time and cuts him down for about a 1 foot. Well, they give him about a yard gain.
Well, that time strength, and Bodette just a little stronger as he really knocked him down.
The hole opening nicely for Goodrich over that right side, but Bodette coming in from the linebacker position plugged it and stopped him cold. 3rd down and 6 for Massabesic, and this will be a good confidence builder for the Devils should they shut him down at this point. Scott Stanley goes off to the left. Pomelo comes in motion for Braun. Braun fakes a handoff, drops back pass, getting a lot of pressure, but he's going to dump it off on a screen, and right there, sniffing it out, is one of the Devil defenders. He's buried by his players.
That was John St. Pierre that time. He read that. He just came in and popped him, so that brings up a punting situation, and we're into the second half, 8:17 remaining, and it's going to be the first punt of the ball game.
St. Pierre goes back he did a beautiful play with Booker. You're right, as unbelievable as he sniffed out that screen. It developed nicely, but then he sniffed it and sacked the person for a 4th and 10. The Massabesic short a man, I think, as they're looking to the coach, but they're going to go anyway. Wasting a lot of time here. Now they're going to have to take time out, as they have to waste the timeout with 7:56 remaining here. So while the Massabesic Mustangs talk about it here, we're going to take a timeout. Delay a game will be the call. Well, let's wait just a minute here as we can get a better look. It's not a timeout. It's a delay a game. So we'll have to hang on and see what happens. So the Blue Devils, we thought we had a timeout, but the officials indicated delay a game, so we'll do it anyway. Davies is kicking. Booker is back along with Hessler. Davies gets a kick away from the 25. A good kick going way off to left. Booker has to chase it back. He drops it at the 20, and he just falls on it right there at the 20-yard line. A good kick by Davies, and Booker, with a hard time finding the handle, manages to fall on it at the 20-yard line. So Rich Aslan and the Blue Devils will take over 1st and 10 from the 20. 7:20 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. The Devils still clinging to that 3-point lead. And we'll see if they can get the ball moving forward. They had a nice drive going here to start the 3rd, but fumbled it away. Aslan, everybody in tight from the wishbone. Gives it to Bodette, and Bodette tries the right side. Bodette's going to get around the corner, come around, and he's going to be hauled down. Val Bodette hauled down at the 29. He'll get 9. It'll be 2nd down and a long 1. Nice running by Val over the left side. Booker checks out of that Blue Devil backfield. St. Pierre comes wide to the left for Aslan. Fakes it to Bodette, pitches it back to Patton. Patton's running out of field. He's going to try to cut back in. He does. He's running to the 40 and 1st down yardage. And Moore is picked up by Patton as he will run to the 41-yard line, and he gets 11. It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Blue Devils. Vance Patton getting a lot more calls in that Devil lineup as Kobe Aslan below us on the bench with his iced knee as it was injured in the 1st half. Officials timeout. We got a player needing some equipment checked in that Massabesic defensive line. And as Norm commented earlier in the first half, the officials very quick to blow whistles when there needs to be equipment checked, as it's for the player's safety, and he'll have to check out of the backfield as he's going to need some more equipment. As John Woodsum checks in, he'll be one of the second string defensive linemen. He'll get some action while that player gets his helmet fixed. In the meantime, Aslan will bring the Devils up. Everybody kept in tight. Fakes the handoff, gives it to Patton again around the left side. Patton picks up some defensive players, but also picks up 5 yards as he never hits the ground as they fake Bodette. Bodette goes through as the blocker. So 2nd down and 5 will be the call. Good crowd again on hand here at the LAP for our second game of the week here on ARC TV 15. Reminder, next week, hopefully we'll be here with every little against the same Massabesic Mustangs, so we'll get a chance to see this team twice in 2 weeks. And the Eddies, I'm sure, are watching this game here tonight as the coaching staff's got to be here. Aslan again keeps everybody tight from the straight wish formation. Fakes to Bodette, gives it over the right side to Aslan. Excuse me, to Patton, and Patton will get 10 yards. It'll be a first down at the 46. As Coach Capone has decided that he's going to run hard over that right side, and he's using Bodette as a decoy. 5:19 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. The Devils are mounting a nice running drive, chewing up a lot of the clock and also chewing up yardage. Booker comes to the left side as he's going to look in his direction. Fires it quickly over to Booker. Booker picks it at the 40, across the 35, and out of bounds at the 34-yard line. As Troy Brooker gets close to first down yardage. In fact, it will be first down yardage. He'll get 11. The ball spotted right at the 35. 1st and 10 Blue Devils as again they get a first down. The sure hand at Troy Booker has been called upon many times in this game as they fire a quick one out to him in the flats and they let him do his thing. Now they show again the run formation. Aslan fakes to Bodette, gives it off to Patton. Patton comes around the left side, met stiffly right there. But it looked like daylight opened up, but it didn't stay open long. As the defensive linebacker came and filled the hole, he picks up 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Kevin Plord checks out of the Devil lineup as St. Pierre replaces him. Booker is split off to the right along. Aslan from the eye, looks at Hessler's direction, fires over to Hessler. Hessler in the flats, good for first down yardage, and he's out of bounds inside the 21-yard line as Dave Hessler is good for first down yardage again, and the Devils are picking up the first down yardage. Officials call timeout as the ball goes out. And we got an injured Massabesic player on the other side, so while he's being tended to, we're going to take a break. This is high school football here on ARC TV 15.
At Sam's, we're special. Taste how good it can be. At Sam's, you're special. You'll love our commitment to quality. Made to order, fresh to you.
Since 39, we're great at what we do.
Sam's, Italian sandwich shops. Taste the way good food should. At Sam's, you never had it so good.
One of the Massabesic players is being tended to on the far side. He's up on his feet. They're just too close to the playing field to let him stay as the play could come in that direction. The Devils have picked up another first down. It'll be 1st and 10. The ball spotted at the 21. A good mix of run and pass being used in this drive as Booker comes to the left. Aslan fakes the hand, now looking in Booker's direction, and passes incomplete as his hand was in motion. It is batted. That time his hand definitely in motion. He had one fumble early when he was hit blindsided. So it'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
And again, Massabesic, that defensive line is able to penetrate and get to the quarterback. And what's been working for Lewiston has been those quick passes right off the snap. When they have to get set up, they usually have problems.
St. Pierre is in with Hessler now as the ends. Aslan gets a little motion. Now he's going to roll on the pitch out. He brings it to Patton. Patton's got some blockers. Tries to get around the corner. He does, but he's going to be ridden out of bounds as he got out at about the 10. And we got an injured Massabesic player in the middle of the field. As Dan Malance at that time kind of looked at them as, whoops, but he is down.
They're going to mark the ball at the 11. There's 4:02 remaining here in the third quarter. And Lewiston has been able to control the football. And doing that really takes a lot out of your defense, the Massabesic defense, because they've got to be out there and they got to be defending. And I find it's always harder to play defense than to play offense, because on offense, you know what's going to happen. On defense, you got to be guessing all the time, and I think it takes more of a mental and a physical toll to be on the field playing defense for most of the game.
You're right. It's a constant guessing game. You have to guess that you make the right play, and you have to hope that your coaches are advising you what they think is going to happen. Obviously, scouted out has been this team. As again, the player is up on his feet and heading out. Number 35 will be the injured player. We don't have a 35 on our program. So we'll get the Devil drive underway again, as from the 11-yard line, it's 1st and 10. As the Blue Devils are marching downfield nicely. Booker is to the left. Now from the slot left formation, and this time Aston's going to keep it. He runs right into a lineman at the 10 and falls forward. They'll give him less than a yard. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9. Keep in mind, the Devils can get a 1st down inside the 2-yard line.
Clock continues to run. Lewiston would like to get some points up on the board here in the third quarter to extend their lead. They lead 13-10.
St. Pierre is in. And now they send a man in motion to the right. Devils showing motion. They're going to roll to the right. St. pitches out. Asla does. The ball's free, and it's loose and jumped on by Massabesic at the 23-yard line. And that time the pitch out headed for Baudette's direction, but the pitch not a very good one. A quick one, and Baudette couldn't find the handle as that play got sniffed out, and Aslan maybe should have kept that one and dropped down, but he doesn't. He pitches it out, and the Devils stop another drive with a turnover.
You're absolutely right. He should have ate that ball. He had some pressure, and he just pitched it out. First of all, he had too much heat on that ball. Baudette never had a chance to get control of it. And again, costly turnover for the Blue Devils. Takes them out of the scoring drive.
Braun will bring the Massabesic Mustangs up as Pomelo comes in motion. He hands it right up the middle quickly as number 34, Dave Stevenson, the ball carrier. He'll go up the middle of the line for a long 5, 2nd down and 5. And Massabesic, on the other hand, has to do the same. Their offense has been stymied. They have to try to get it underway.
It's been stymied since the end of the first quarter. Lewiston made some adjustments defensively that seems to be working, and they need to get on track and maybe pick up a little more confidence.
Braun brings up the Mustangs. He's got a man in motion inside. Now he pitches it out to Stevenson. He tries the left side, and he's going to be dragged down at the 35. I'm sorry, on the ball carrier is Goodrich.
You can tell how smart a runner he is. He looks at his blocks, and he follows them well, and he's very, very exceptional runner.
You can see the green as he's been pounded here today. He picks up 1st down yardage, though. It'll be 1st down, the ball just over the 35-yard line. And both clubs going back to that homegrown offensive, run it on the ground. Braun's 2 men off to the left. He gives it up to Goodrich, right up the middle, and Goodrich is cut down by Baudette. As again, Val plugs that hole, and he may have sniffed that out and knows to be there.
I'll tell you, what a leader on this team. Bodette, a two-way ball player, and he has strength on the offense. And what can you say about him defensively? When he hits you, you're hit. You know you hit, and you go down.
Goodrich found out again for the second time as Bodette crunched the legs out from underneath him. And I think they've seen that play enough tonight to see that it's going to form, and Bodette can read it nicely from the middle line backing position. Man comes in motion for the Mustangs, and they roll to the left. Braun fires over the field, and there's Stanley right there as he's going to take it at the 45. Scott Stanley gets planted at the 45, and so does Braun back at the 30. And Braun looking for the roughing. He isn't going to get it.
Fine pass and a fine reception. That time, he kind of hung the sideline and cut towards the middle. And what he found himself was in a square of defensive backs, but he was right in the middle. No one right next to him. The ball perfectly thrown, and a big first down for the Mustangs.
They go to the pass as they get big yardage now. The ball over midfield at the Blue Devil 47-yard line. Pomelo goes in motion. Braun hands it up to Goodrich. Goodrich over the right side falls forward for about 6. Nice mixing up of the plays by the Mustangs, and they're going to give him 4 as I guess his knees went down sooner, so it'll be 2nd down and 6.
Very little time remaining here in the third quarter. We're just approaching the 30-second mark.
It's a quick running first and third quarter, we should say, because of the running that both these clubs have been putting into play. Goodrich sends Gannon Perry off to the left. Now Perry comes in right. Stanley is on to the right. Pitches over to the left side to Goodrich. Goodrich gets the corner turned and then is hauled down. He'll be short of first down yardage. They're going to ball came free, but they're going to say it was already down.
It's not going to be enough for a first down, and that will probably just about eat up the remaining time here in the third quarter.
3rd down and 2 as the third quarter will end as the siren sounds here at the LAP to put 3 quarters in the books, as we'll switch sides and the Devils will be back for the fourth quarter. We have 12 minutes remaining. We'll be back with the ad action right after this.
At Sam's, we're special. Taste how good it can be. At Sam's, you're special. You'll love our commitment to quality. Made to order, fresh to you.
Since 39, we're great at what we do.
Sam's, Italian sandwich shops. Taste the way good food should. At Sam's, you never had it so good.
At Parody Insurance, we take the time to care at Parody when you need us. You know that we'll be there. Security protection, trying to just do. At Parody Insurance, the family works for you.
Protect yourself against expensive medical bills due to sickness or accident with a policy from Parity Insurance.
Busy, 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 looking out for you. Parody Insurance, the family works for you.
Everybody's coming back to Boogie's Happy Jack. Yeah. For so many years we've been serving great food. Now we're coming on strong with a new attitude. Boogie knows how to make everything great. From buffets to banquets and specialty plates. So turn to the Happy Times at exit 13 and join the smiling faces. Everybody's coming back to Happy Jack. Happy Jack. Everybody's coming back to Boogie's Happy Jack.
We're back live as the play is underway. Handles it off to Goodrich, and we'll have to wait for the official spot. No way as that official spots it just shy of the 40.
He may have lost about a foot on that play.
Well, they're going to bring it back. The officials are looking at a 4th down, and they're really spotting that ball back. It'll bring up a 4th down, and they send in a punting unit real quick. Shaky call. The officials moved that ball back quite a bit. He must have touched a knee down or something.
We're going to have to wait and see if this is going to be a punt. A lot of time remaining in the ball game, and they'd like to see Lewiston down deep in their own zone, but you always got to be careful for that fake.
Davies will be doing the punting. Booker is back deep for the Devils. He's at his own goal line. They're going to kick it away. A quick little kick is going to head in Hessler. Hessler's going to fair catch it and fall down at the 17. So they waste no chance of a fumble as he fair catches it and drops down.
I think that time they would have probably liked to have a little more distance on that ball, not so much height. Lewiston 1st and 10 from their 17. Not a bad field position, not the best they've had tonight, but they get the ball back. 11:08 time remaining. Right now they need to control that football and try to add on to that 3-point lead.
The Devil Brain Trust down below us trying to figure out how to hang on or how to get an extra 7 on the board as their offense has been running nice and then fumbling the ball away. Aslan brings everybody tight in. Aslan fakes it, gives up to Bodette off the right side. Val's met at the line and then still on his feet. He may lose, but they'll give his forward progress about a yard. He's met that time by Goodrich. So the two running backs meeting head on offensively and defensively. He gets a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
You know, you can stop Bodette at the line, but if you're going to take him down, you're going to have some friends help you out.
As that time it was quite clear that it took more than one man to get Val to the ground. Official timeout as they have a problem on the other side. Is the official not happy with the official spotting of the ball.
And it doesn't appear that the member of the chain crew is too happy with the official.
So the officials are fighting amongst themselves here. As you're right, he gave him a yard and now they have to move it back, so it's 2nd down and 10 as they put the ball at the original line of scrimmage. They fire off in Plord's direction. Plord's met right there at the 23. And he only gets, well, we'll wait now as they're going to spot it at about 4 yards. Oh, they're going to give him 6. It's a little comical because the gentleman spotting the ball on the far side of the field is rather upset with the officials, and he spikes the line marker every time. Plord is off, and he's got Booker over on the left side. He fires over in that direction. He's going to take it on the far side of the field, get across the 40 to the 45, across the field, and hauled out of bounds. And there comes the flag.
And
as he was well out of bounds. And it'll go against Goodrich. And they'll add 15 onto that one as Goodrich a little overzealous on his tackle. And they'll get him for 15 out of bounds. That's a 2nd time today we've seen those flags come in for late hits.
It's going to be from the point of the infraction.
The officials are way over on the Massabesic side. I'm sure the coach isn't happy with that one, but he's claiming that he was well out of bounds.
Well, if from where they spotted it,
15 big ones from there, bring it to the 40.
It looked like Booker may have been out of bounds way before he was knocked out of bounds.
And that's the only reason, because Booker was still going full stride, but he must have been cleanly. Again, it's way over the other side of the field from my vantage point, and we're looking at it from a 90-degree angle, so it's hard to tell, but the official wasted no time as he threw it in quickly.
Costly mistakes, I'll tell you. Both teams have been penalized tonight by costly mistakes, penalties that shouldn't have been taken.
The Devils will take this one in their pocket as they get the ball moved across midfield. 15 yards added on to that play, and now we have an official's timeout again.
And I think the officials are going over to confer with the it could either be the Massabesic coach or it could be the guy on the chain gang, one of the two.
The yard down marker gentleman is having a very difficult time with the officials over there, and you're right, it could be either one. And they're in that general vicinity.
And I think they are talking to the chain, people in the chain. It looks like they're going to remove that gentleman.
Yeah.
They are going to remove him.
They've taken him out and they've given a Massabesic player. It appears they've given a Massabesic player, and that gentleman is not happy, and he's gone. No. As you can see, he says, "I'm hanging it up for the night, coach."
Well, I don't think they gave it to a player, but it was somebody that was on the bench. Now, whether it's a trainer or it can't be one of the coaches.
No, but I say it's one of the Massabesic members of the team, as Massabesic fans wanted it. So we've seen somebody get fired tonight. So it's
no question. You know, the official is the law on the field, and the gentleman, if he had any gripes, should have kept them to himself. Now he's over on the sideline trying to explain his actions to the fans, but doesn't appear too many people are listening to him.
Doesn't appear as he'll depart LAP, and we've got a new line marker. Not much importance. He just spots the ball. 1st and 10 from the 39. Go the Blue Devils after the penalty, and they hand it to the second man, Patton, and he'll be drilled, but then he'll break free, and he'll fall down. Good 4 yards for 5.
Good second effort by Patton. That time it looked like he was having problems holding on to the ball. He managed to take the hit, spin around it, and pick up an additional 3 yards. So it's going to be 2nd down and 7 for the Blue Devils.
9:53 remaining in the game. The Devils still clinging to that 3-0 lead. They have the ball. Booker comes off to the right. Aslan sets him and looks over in Booker's direction, fires it out to Booker. Booker at the 30. He's going to be hauled right there at the 30-yard line. But again, that quick dump off to Booker has made big yards for the Devils tonight, as we've seen it many times. This time they're only going to wait to see if they're going to give it close to 1st down yardage. It is. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
You know, one thing I've noticed about this year's team in comparison to last year's team, well, we'll come back with that little thought, but we're going to remind you that this is high school football here on ARC TV 5. We'll be back right after this.
At Parody Insurance, we take the time to care at Parody when you need us. You know that we'll be there. Security, protection, writing teachers too. At Parody Insurance, the family works for you.
Protect yourself against expensive medical bills due to sickness or accident with a policy from Parity Insurance.
Busy, 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 looking out for you. Parody Insurance, the family works for you.
We're back. We went to a quick timeout. We've got 9:18, the time remaining. What I was saying before, a comparison against last year's team. Booker is getting a lot of passes as he did last year, but for some reason last year it appeared Lewiston was able to get their receivers behind the defenders more. Whether it was Seguin, his ability to get that ball up in the air and to a position. Aslan's passing tonight can't be criticized. He's playing a good game, but that's one difference that we've seen already as compared to last year.
Coach Capone said coming into the preseason that it's hard to replace a Brian Seguin. He's done a good job with Rich Aslan. You never replace a guy like Seguin, but you have to do the best what you have, and he's done it good with Aslan, as he'll bring him up and hand it off quickly to Patton, and Patton will try the left side. Good enough for 1st down yardage. As we'll wait for the official spot of the ball, and it looks like it's going to be just enough for 1st down yardage. The ball is over the 30. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 29. Critical point of the game for the Devils, because they've had 2 drives stalled by fumbles, and they're going to need to get some points to be reassured as they go into the late moments of this game. Off to the right is Plourde, as Aslan will bring from the wish. He'll fake it off to Bodette, and he'll hand it off to Patton. Patton tries to the right side. Not going to do it, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds.
Boy, credit, fine pursuit by the Mustangs. You could see a whole line of white jerseys just coming to just cut off Patton.
He'll get 6, as they'll give it 2nd down and 4.
Anytime you can get more than 5 on a 1st down, that really helps your offensive team, and that time he picked up 6. So Lewiston in fine position with 2nd down and 4.
Booker will go off to the left. Hessel will come to the right for Aslan. A little motion that time and not called. He's going to fire it over deeply, and there's Booker in the end zone. It's going to be cut. Touchdown. Beautiful pass by Rich Aslan to Troy Booker, and he comes down with it in the end zone.
One of the things about that pass that made it extremely good was that Aslan juggled the ball as he was going back to make the pass, but he had enough control of the ball, and he put it right on the numbers. And Lewiston takes a 19-10 lead, and they're going to try to increase that by 1 with this extra point.
They bring the line over on that misdirection. 8:45 will be the time of the touchdown, and you're right. It gives the Devils a little bit of a cushion now. Well, again, the snap is fumbled, and they're going to have a hard time, and he's going to be dropped as that play goes for naught. As the second time in a row, Mike Turcotte has to eat the ball. And I don't know what it is. They got to work on the snapping on that extra points, because that could be so critical.
Well, it could be critical right now, because instead of a 10-point spread, Massabesic is looking at a 9-point spread, which is a touchdown, an extra point, and a field goal. And we know, we saw it earlier in the game, they do have a fine kicking game, and they're capable of putting points up on the board with their field goal unit. So Lewiston now a 9-point lead, but still a lot of time remaining. 8:45 time remaining here in the fourth quarter. So Massabesic not out of this at all.
Not out at all, like you say, but they're down more than a touchdown now, and now the clock will become a factor, as Turcotte will tee it up for the Blue Devils. And back deep will be Lee Goodrich and Scott Pomelo for Massabesic.
Now those 2-point after the two that they missed, if they would have made them, it would have put 11 points up on the board, and that would have forced Massabesic to pick up at least 2 touchdowns or go for a 2-point conversion.
Turcotte's kick is short as it comes down at the 25, and getting around the right side, and there he's going to be grabbed, is going to be Pomelo. Pomelo gets the ball on the fly, and not a relatively short kick for Turcotte, and the ball will be spotted at the 44-yard line. First down and 10 for the Mustangs.
Big crucial set of plays for both teams. Massabesic now has to generate some quick offense. You'll probably see them going to the air a little more.
They'll look in the direction of number 11, Scott Stanley. We know we'll see him, as also Bill Cox will come to the left. Right up goes Goodrich up the middle, and he'll go nowhere. Excuse me, that's not Goodrich, it's Stevenson.
One of the things that Lewiston's got to be careful of, we saw it once, the play failed in the second quarter, but Goodrich is capable of throwing that pass.
The Devil Brain Trust down below us, punching in those defensive signals, is doing just what we're doing, second guessing as to where they're going to go now. Play taking a long time to get called. Second down and a long 8. Stanley comes to our left. As Braun will drop, he'll look deep, he'll look over the right side, he fires over and almost intercepted. Almost intercepted by Bodette on the far sideline.
He'd like to get that one back. You're right, he almost did intercept it, but again, a lot of time for the Massabesic quarterback to set up. The line is giving him a lot of protection. For the Devils, fortunately, the defensive back are putting in some good coverage on the receivers, but a lot of time for Braun to get set up.
Third down, and again, the long 8. Gannon Perry comes to the left for Braun. Braun will fake the handoff and roll, and he'll look in that direction, getting a little pressure, a little holding in the backfield. He's knocked down. It's going to be taken nicely at the foot. Its ball is fumbled, and it's going to be taken by the Devils. They're going to run it back as St. Pierre is going to get across the 30. He hurdles and goes down at the 25. And that time, I don't understand the officials, as Steve Davies dropped the ball.
What happened is, as he was hit, the ball came loose. Player just picked it up, the official right there, and Lewiston, a big turnover as they recover the fumble. They get the ball back in good field position. They've got the ball at the 29-yard line.
29-yard line is your... Davies fell on his back, and you're right, the ball came free as he fell on his back, and there's St. Pierre, picks it up, and he rumbles 35 yards. So the Devils get another break, as one of the many breaks we've had here tonight. Happens right down in front of us from the 29. Aslan brings the Devils up 1st and 10. Plenty of time remaining here in the game, 6:55. Aslan gives the handoff up to Bodette. Bodette tries the right side and goes good for a long 4. So the turnovers, if we'd kept track, I think we'd need an extra sheet of paper.
Turnovers have been costly for both teams. Cost the Blue Devils dearly in the first quarter. And now Massabesic is feeling the crunch of those turnovers as Lewiston again threatening the ball at the 25.
2nd down and 7 is the call for Rich Aslan. Everybody tight from a straight wish formation. He'll bring him up. This time he pitches back, and Aslan has a hard time grabbing it, and he gets slammed.
That time a missed block as Tony Sullivan for the Blue Devils just missed his blocking assignment, which enabled Massabesic to throw the Blue Devils for a loss.
Patton got slammed as you're right, he had no blocking in front of him, and he paid for it. He'll lose the yardage that was gained by Baudet. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Clock continues to run. We're at about 5:50 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Lewiston with that 19-10 lead.
Booker goes off to the left again as St. Pierre comes to the right for Aslan. His backs are set in a blocking formation, and they're going to be doing that as he's going to the air. He's going to Booker blindly over to the left, and he's going to overthrow him. As that time Booker a little too far out of his range. He's got some good speed, but not that much as it was out of bounds. So it's a 4th and 10, and decision time for Coach Capone.
Well, that time, no doubt, the play, a good call. It's just overthrown. If he would have been on the numbers, Booker would have been in for another touchdown. Blue Devils now will most likely try to get that 1st down.
They'll try to get it, and also there's nothing to gain, nothing to lose here as they're on the 29. If they turn it over, poor field position. Aslan will take the snap, and he's going to look, and he's going to roll, and he's going to set up a screen. It's going to be out to Baudet. Baudet's got a lot of blockers out in front of him. Val's going to break over and go down inside the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Val Baudet. A beautifully set up screen by Rich Aslan and his offensive line. And Baudet gets the Devils' 2nd touchdown of the half.
Gutsy call. Great running play. Credit some fine downfield blocking as the Blue Devils now take a 15-point lead and just about take this game out of reach of the Massabesic Mustangs.
Mike Turcotte on the extra point. He's seen 2 go by him. I'm sure he's wondering about this 3rd one. This time the snap is placed down, and it's almost blocked, but it's good. As Turcotte will get the Devils their extra point finally, and bingo, the Devils have exploded.
Well, more importantly right now for the Blue Devils, they've got a 16-point lead. That means that Massabesic would have to score 2 touchdowns. They'd have to convert on 2-pointers, and that's a lot to ask with just 5:17 remaining here in the ball game. But Lewiston, a big recovery. They didn't look very, very good in the 1st quarter, but they've come back, and they're playing their type of ball right now.
But it shows that once they do get the lead, their attitude instilled upon them by Coach Capone takes over, and that's when they are very, very difficult to beat. When they're trailing, they look a little discombobulated. They don't know which direction to go with. But once they get a lead, it doesn't take long for those players to dig down and pull ahead. And they're going to take, like you say, that 16-point lead. And we can't count Massabesic out, but they've got a mountain to climb. Turcotte gets the extra point. He'll be doing the kicking again. Goodrich will be deep to the right, along with Scott Pomelo. Lewiston fans a little bit more excited now as they've got the bigger lead. Kick is going to drop deep, and Pomelo's going to take it away from the other man. He's going to try the middle, and he's going to run into his own man, and still he's going to break over the 35 as that time Goodrich gets back-ended by Pomelo.
Well, now you can see the Mustangs, their offense is going to be key to getting a lot of yards with using up just the littlest amount of time they can on the clock. So look to see them going to the air, maybe a running play mixed in once in a while, but it's strictly got to be up in the air. They don't have enough time to create the offense through the run.
Bill Cox will come to the left for Mike Braun. Still the eye behind him, and he fakes to Goodrich and rolls off to his left. He's got some pressure now, and he's going to be hauled down nicely there as the Devils sniff that one out. And 54, Dan Melanson that time comes running up and cleans his clock out, and he gets no yardage.
Not only cleaned his clock out, he just tore his jersey right off his back. Now it's being rearranged, but no doubt he can't be using that jersey anymore because half of it is missing.
This isn't college. We don't have tearaway here. As you're right, he's got no jersey left. As the official says, you got to cover those pads up because they'll flop up and down, and if they do get caught in a bad position, he can injure him. As they'll try to maybe tape his shirt together.
4:24 time remaining here in the fourth quarter. The Blue Devils on their way to their third victory of the season.
Well, they've got him repaired, patched together in the huddle. Scott Stanley comes to the left from Mike Braun. Again, he'll show from the eye, 2nd down and 10. He sends Pomelo in motion to the right. He gives the handoff up the middle to Stevenson. He's going to fall forward. Dave Stevenson falls close to first down, but he'll be shy by about 2.
Injured player on the field. He's getting up slowly, but now he makes his way back to the huddle.
That's Scott Stanley. He's one of their stellar ends, and he's going to look to be replaced in the backfield. Cox will replace him. That's a normal rotation as he checks in with the play.
Clock continues to run, so Massabesic now has to really quicken up their offense.
3rd and long, too. Pomelo goes out in motion to the right. Gives the handoff to Goodrich. Goodrich is going to have the first down across the 45 to the 47 or 48 yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10, but still they're waning that clock down, and I'm surprised they haven't gone to the air.
I think they were looking for the first down that time, knowing that if they got it, it would stop the clock long enough for them to call a play in a huddle and come to the line. But they've got to put the ball up in the air. If they don't do that, this game is history for the Massabesic Mustangs.
Goodrich has Stanley back in. Braun has Stanley back in on the left, and we got motion, but it's not going to do. They're going to try around the right side is Goodrich. Goodrich is going to be grabbed in the backfield and hauled down. Nothing going.
That was major motion. The official right there apparently mustn't have seen it because Goodrich that time, he started going to his left, saw the ball wasn't snapped, readjusted quickly, and no flag on the play.
He had Pomelo coming in motion at him, and I think he realized 2 men in motion just doesn't work. They lose a yard, 2nd down and 11. Not going in the right direction. Cox comes to the left. Pomelo goes in motion to the right. They fake to Goodrich. They look at Goodrich coming out, but they go over to Cox. It's going to be incomplete at the 40.
Just barely overthrown. Managed to get his hands on it, but it was just too far out. He was stretching out for it, so it's going to be a 3rd and about 11 for the Mustangs. That stopped the clock with 2:28 remaining here in the ball game.
Fans here at the LAP starting to slowly wind their way out of this park as they realize that the Devils are going to ink another victory in the win column and make them 3-0. And I'm sure this weekend a lot of the Sunday papers are going to indicate the Blue Devils, as they did in the preseason, as the team to beat in Class A football. Pomelo goes in motion to the right. Braun's got pressure on the blind side. He's cleaned out, but he gets it away nicely and caught at the 30-yard line, as that time Steve Davies on the reception brings the Mustangs down to the 30, and a nice reception for about 25 yards.
Braun that time found out that you got to pay the price to be a quarterback, because he got that ball away, but as he got popped.
He'll take the licking and come back. Cox comes again as they'll look to go to the air. He shows from the eye, sends Pomelo again in motion, fakes to Goodrich. Looking at Goodrich out of the backfield, he dumps it off. Goodrich is there, but no blocking, and he's going to be hauled and slammed down again by Melanson, as Dan Melanson is coming across here in the second half.
I would say he's pumped.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption. Bodette was pumped, sticking Goodrich, and now Melanson has got almost took the quarterback's shirt off, and now he sticks Goodrich. He'll gain a foot. Scott Stanley checks back in.
Clock is still running, and Massabesic really taking their time.
Taking too much time, 1:38 remaining. They better go to the air here. Stanley is off to the left. There goes Pomelo to the right from the eye. Fakes to Goodrich. Looking downfield in Stanley's direction, fires it over, and it's going to be caught and come down with the ball. And gets free as Goodrich. Goodrich is down to the 1. As Goodrich released from the backfield, and he's slow getting up. As the officials will stop the clock as they need to talk to him. And nice play on his part to stay down because it will stop the clock.
Definitely hurt on the play, but credit him. He was hit by 2 people, managed to get away from him, took another hit, and finally he was brought down near the 1-yard line. As you can see, he is down on his knees, appears to be in pain.
When you're in that position where you're fighting for yards, you've got your body in positions that aren't normal to taking hits, and your legs may be locked in. Doesn't make any difference as far as he's concerned because he's hurting right now. But first down and goal, the ball inside the 1, as Massabesic may have wasted a little bit too much time getting plays in, and it may hurt them as they're down by 16 points.
Well, I'll tell you, a touchdown on the next play, a 2-point conversion, an onside kick. They get the ball a lot of ifs, but if they do that, could make for an interesting closing minute of this ball game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting anyway, as now they're missing their big running back, Goodrich, as he'll have to sit at least one play as he's the injured. They wind the clock up. 1:18 and counting, as they've got to do something quick. We'll see if Stevenson is the halfback. And JD, and they give it to Stevenson, touchdown. Massabesic gets one across. It'll come exactly at the 103 mark, so they have got to go for 2 here, no doubt about it, because that will bring it a little bit closer should they need it.
That's 1 if out of the way. Now they need 3 more, and this is a big one here. They need to pick up 2 points on this conversion. If they don't, the game's over.
That's exactly right, because there isn't that much time left. They'll have to hope for a miscue big time by the Devils, and if they do get it, that is half the battle.
If they get it, you can bet your house and everything else is going to be an onside kick.
Stevenson is still in the game. He's the halfback, and they're going to roll to the right. Braun's going to try to get the corner. He's not. He's going to fire it in. It's going to be good for 2 points, as that time the pass goes well over on the far side of the field. Scott Pomelo with a reception, so they get the 2. So they've brought it back to 6 points. 8 points, I'm sorry.
8 points, and I'll tell you, this team, the Massabesic Mustangs, definitely have a lot of heart, a lot of desire. They fell behind 16 points. They didn't give up, and I'm very impressed with their program. 2nd year in Class A, and talk about a tough schedule to start your 2nd year off competing in Class A. You meet Portland, Bedford, and then Lewiston. That's a tough schedule. They got by Portland. A lot of people said it was an upset. After I've seen them play here tonight, I don't think it was. I think this team's for real.
I think this is for real. The Devils will take a timeout to talk about this, as they want to set up that defense, because they know the minute 3 remaining in the game, anything can happen. And this, as you just said, Norm, this Massabesic team is here to stay. And you got to keep in mind, we're going to see, hopefully, the same Massabesic team next week on our ARC TV 15 Game of the Week. They'll be across the river at the Eddies. And the Red Eddies season not starting off in the same fashion as the Devils. The Eddies have dropped their first 2. And after this weekend, they have a afternoon game. Today's afternoon game will determine the Eddies' fate for the rest of the season. But the Devils are going to come away, it appears, unless a minute 3 is going to change the turnaround of this game, are going to come away with a 3-0 record after this weekend of high school football. And as we said earlier, not only are we back, but he's back. That's Gab with Tab. Steve Tab starts September 28th at 7 p.m. only on ARC TV 15. Call in and be part of the action as you join Steve as he brings some of his light and sometimes heavy views to issues regarding the Twin Cities. That's September 28th at 7 p.m. Davies set to kick for Massabesic. Patton is deep, and he's alone. Booker's going to now step in a little bit. Minute 3 remaining here in the game, and they're going to go onside. All Bodette is on the right side as they go for the onside. Goes 10, and dropping on it nicely is Kevin Floyd. So the onside fails. It's kicked it a little too hard as it rolled more yards than it had to, but you could see that time Coach Capone figuring he had everybody coming, as he had Bodette up there. He had his sure handling players up there, Hessler, and he knew it was coming.
One of the key for an onside kick is that ball has got to be bouncing, and that time It just came to the Lewiston player who smartly just dove onto it and got the ball for the Blue Devils. And now all they got to do is kill off the remaining 42 seconds, which they can do without giving up the ball.
They'll kneel it down as Baudet is back as a safety, and Aston will just set down on the ball, kneel it, and Massabesic will take a timeout as expected. 32 seconds remaining, and that is their second, I believe. And it's really academic at this point. The Devils will snap the ball, Massabesic will call a timeout, and the Devils will run it out.
As we see Coach Skip Capone in his usual dress garb for the game, his shorts, and you know what's unusual about it's not really unusual, it's not that cold of a night. It's cool. I wouldn't want to be wearing shorts, but as the season progresses, it's the courage that he shows. We've seen him, Dave, when it was awful cold, and you're talking about long john weather, and he's out there in his shorts, and you know that's got to inspire his players.
It's got to inspire, and that's what he does. He says, how can you be cold? I'm here in shorts and I'm not cold. And that's why his players respect him so much. He's done a whale of a program here in Lewiston in getting this team back to Class A leadership status as it was last year, and appears this year to be on its way again, as they've got a good battle here and a well-balanced attack. As again, Aston will bring him up. He's got Baudet behind him as a safety valve should the ball come free. Aston will take the snap, kneel down. Continues to lose yards, but no big deal as Massabesic takes their last timeout. 29 seconds remaining, and one, maybe two snaps, and that'll be it. It'll be a third down.
Well, I'll tell you, Massabesic, as I said earlier, what a way to start your second season of competition in Class A. When you look at your schedule, the coach must have had nightmares. Portland coming off a good season last year. A lot expected of Portland this year. Biddeford, perennial powerhouse. And then Lewiston, the defending Class A champions. And they're probably the best 1 and 2 team in the state, these Massabesic Mustangs.